Every country swears its currency is safe. Every government claims its promises will last forever. And every time, history proves them wrong. From Rome to England, from the Confederacy to modern Morocco, people have woken up one morning to the same realization. Their savings were worthless. Their salaries were insufficient. Their hopes for the future had been taken from them by systems they believed were solid. Collapse is not the exception. Collapse is the rule. The real question is not whether financial systems fail, but how you protect yourself and rebuild. When they do, the illusion of permanence is the most dangerous financial mistake of all. We look at our bank accounts, we trust our national currencies, we assume they are rock solid, but money is not bedrock. Money is trust, and trust can disappear overnight. That is why history is both brutal and profoundly instructive. Every collapse leaves traces behind, lessons, warnings, and reckonings. And one central question: what truly survives, and what disappears? If you look closely, you'll see this pattern. The ones who survive disasters are not those who trust the most. They are the ones who doubt first. The Byzantine Empire is a powerful example. The eastern half of Rome remained standing for 1,000 years after the West collapsed. At the heart of its economy was the gold solidus, so trusted that it was accepted from Europe to the Middle East and across Asia. It was almost a reserve currency of the medieval world. But here is the irony. The Byzantines should have learned from Rome's earlier disaster with the silver denarius, a coin debased so many times it became little more than tin. Yet the same mistake was repeated, this time with gold. The purity of the solidus was slowly reduced. Cheaper alloys were added. At first, no one noticed. Then trust cracked. The coin that once anchored Mediterranean trade turned into political fiction. The currency collapsed, and with it, economic stability. What survived? Not government promises, not decrees. Merchants who held gold and land beyond the empire's reach endured. The first universal lesson is this: governments cannot resist the temptation to dilute their money, and when they do, real value flees to assets that cannot be counterfeited. But not every collapse comes from rulers tampering with currency. Some begin with sudden shocks. In the 14th century, Europe faced the most devastating pandemic in its history, the Black Death. Between 1347 and 1351, half the population vanished. Cities emptied, villages disappeared. Trade came to a halt, yet the economic story was not only catastrophe. When people become scarce, labor gains value. Survivors demanded higher wages. Land and food became abundant relative to population. Families with liquidity, silver, goods, or simply the ability to work, found opportunities beyond imagination. Land once worth fortunes sold for pennies. This should sound familiar. The same pattern emerged during COVID. Supply chains collapsed. Governments printed trillions. Those with liquidity accumulated assets. Those struggling to survive fell further behind. Pandemics redistribute wealth. Always. Another lesson comes from Renaissance Florence. In the 14th century, it was Europe's financial capital. Banking dynasties like the Bardi and Perozzi lent heavily to kings, especially to Edward III of England. When the king defaulted, the banks collapsed. Deposits evaporated. Florence descended into chaos. The myth of too big to fail died that day. The same story repeated with Lehman Brothers, Lebanese banks, and modern crises. Institutions exist for profit, not to protect you. The American Civil War was also a monetary war. The North printed greenbacks. The South printed graybacks. As money multiplied, its value collapsed. In the Confederacy, wages could no longer buy bread. Bags of banknotes were almost worthless. Those who survived held not paper, but real assets: land, food, gold. During the French Revolution, assignats were issued. At first, there was hope. Then came uncontrolled printing. The currency collapsed. Bread riots returned. Once again, the winners were the same: those who held what could not be printed. In the 1997 Asian financial crisis, debt was denominated in foreign currency. Exchange rates collapsed. Debts exploded. Ordinary people paid the price. The lesson was clear. Borrowing in someone else's money is a trap, and this story is still unfolding. In 2019, banks in Lebanon locked their doors. Deposits were frozen. The currency lost over 90% of its value. A lifetime of savings disappeared. Money, it turned out, was not a treasure stored in a vault. It was a loan to an institution that might not repay you in a crisis. So how do you protect yourself? History offers no single answer, but it reveals a pattern. Real assets, real skills, and real awareness. Collapse is both disaster and opportunity. For the unprepared, it is ruin. For the prepared, it is a moment of rebuilding. And remember, the question is not whether everything collapses. It always does. The question is whether you will be left holding promises or something real.